If you've been sitting there thinking, I don't know if I'm ready for the meds journey yet, or your kiddo just can't tolerate them, listen up. NeuroNeeds was created by a medical geneticist, board-certified pediatrician, and ADHD dad who hit the same wall when his own kiddo couldn't handle stimulants. He built a science-backed line of nutritional support to help fill the gaps where meds just can't. So if treatment feels scary or you're not sure where to start, NeuroNeeds might just be the middle ground your family's been looking for. Learn more at neuroneeds.com. Can we talk about the moment? You know the one. You're standing in your kitchen at 7:52 a.m. Your kid is half dressed, half feral, screaming about their sock seam feeling too spicy. The dog's barking, someone spilled orange juice on the permission slip, and you're doing that thing where you inhale through your nose like a deranged yoga teacher and whisper to yourself, "It's fine. Everything's fine." And then it hits you. This isn't just a rough morning, this is every morning. And suddenly you remember, oh yeah, it's ADHD Awareness Month. Cue the emotional whiplash, because suddenly your feed is full of posts about embracing neurodiversity and seeing ADHD as a superpower. But you're just trying not to cry over the fact that your kid spent 27 minutes trying to put on a shoe. Yes, just one. Here's the truth, mama, or dad, or grandparent, or whoever's fighting the good fight. Awareness isn't exactly what we need anymore. We're aware as hell. What we need is action. So today we're going there. We're going to talk about how far we've come and how far we still have to go. We're going to peel back the layers of this ADHD parenting thing and figure out why this diagnosis, the one that might have broken your heart at first, is actually a blessing in disguise. And I want to hear from you. Tell me in the comments, DM, or shout out into the void, what's one thing that changed for you with your child's diagnosis? What did you finally understand? Finally stop blaming yourself for? And finally start doing differently? Because your answers, those tiny real-life light bulb moments, are what keep this movement alive. Now, grab your lukewarm, sad coffee, and let's do this. Welcome back to Chaos and Caffeine, your ADHD parenting podcast. I'm Danielle, ADHD mom, professional overthinker, and your guide through the gloriously messy world of raising neurodivergent kiddos. Grab your mug, your meds, for the love of God, your snacks, and let's dive in. So, let's rewind a minute. When I was growing up, ADHD meant that one boy who couldn't sit still. The kid teachers said had ants in his pants. The one who got labeled lazy or troublemaker. You know, the one your girl is raising currently. Fast forward to now, and we've learned that ADHD isn't just one thing. It's attention dysregulation, emotional intensity, impulsivity out the wazoo, time blindness, sensory sensitivity, and about 4,000 other damn things that somehow all live in one small human who's supposed to remember to bring their lunchbox home. We've come so far. We now know that ADHD brains are wired differently. Not wrong, just different. They're dopamine-seeking machines. They crave novelty, connection, and instant reward. That's not bad behavior. That's neurobiology. But we still have miles to go because our schools, they're still using discipline systems that punish symptoms. Hello, taking recess from a hyperactive kiddo. Our pediatricians still rushing through 10-minute visits. Our society still judging parents for doing whatever the hell it takes to keep their kid regulated in target. So yes, awareness is great. But until every doctor, teacher, and policymaker gets it, baby, we've still got work to do. And here's the thing. Awareness Month ends. The hashtags quiet down. And we parents, We're still here, still trying to figure out why mornings feel like war zones, still Googling how in the hell to get my ADHD kiddo to sleep at 1 a.m., still wondering if we're doing enough or if we're somehow missing the secret sauce everyone else seems to have. That's why I wanted to do this episode, because what comes after awareness is the messy middle. That place where the diagnosis has landed, but the roadmap, yeah, baby, she's nowhere to be found. Nobody hands you a pamphlet at the doctor's office that says, "Congratulations on your child's ADHD diagnosis. Here's how to rebuild your entire parenting approach while keeping your sanity." So today, that's exactly what we're doing. We're going to walk through step by step what happens next. The real, tangible stuff that helps you and your kid get your lives back. These are not Pinterest perfect tips or quick fixes. They're science-backed strategies that I've seen work in real, sticky, loud, beautifully chaotic homes like ours. And every step matters because each one builds on the last. First, we're going to figure out what ADHD really is and how to make sure your kid's diagnosis is accurate. Then we'll talk about routines that actually work for our brains. We'll get into emotional regulation because, spoiler alert, your kid's calm starts with yours. We'll build your support dream team. Fix sleep, tweak nutrition, navigate school, explore treatment, and the holy grail, we're going to find your community. The people who remind you you're not the only parent whose kid once cried because air felt too close. By the end of this episode, my goal is for you to walk away not just informed, but empowered. Because this diagnosis isn't a curse, it's a roadmap. And when you understand it, everything changes. Okay, mamas of sensory-seeking, constantly moving, touch-craving kiddos, listen up, because I've found the holy grail of calm. It's called Ted Kangaroo, and they make sensory products that are actually beautiful and built to last longer than my patients on a Monday morning. But the real MVP? The Sensory Squeeze Seat. It's this genius compression chair that literally feels like a hug for your kid's nervous system. My son says it's like a great hug that rocks. And honestly, he's not wrong. It gives just the right amount of deep pressure without making him feel trapped. And here's the thing, every single kid that comes to our house, they all want to turn every single time. It's washable because kids. It's sturdy, and it's become our go-to chill spot for meltdowns, homework, and those 5 minutes before bedtime chaos moments. So if you've got a sensory kiddo who needs comfort, grounding, or just a little peace in their body, go check out Ted Kangaroo. They're out here helping our kids feel safe, supported, and seen, one squishy hug chair at a time. So step 1 is the most important, and honestly, probably the most humbling. You have to understand what the hell ADHD actually is and what she's not. It's not a parenting failure. It's not a lack of discipline. It's not too much screen time. It's a neurodevelopmental disorder that affects the brain's executive function network, which is just a fancy way of saying it affects things like planning, remembering, regulating, organizing, and switching between tasks. You know, all the things your kiddo is going to need to succeed. You know that thing where your kid forgets what they were doing mid-sentence? That's working memory. When they melt down over stopping one activity to start another, that's task switching. When they're hyper-focused on Minecraft but can't seem to brush their teeth, that's dopamine, baby. The ADHD brain has different wiring. It's like driving a Ferrari engine with bicycle brakes. Powerful, but hard to control. And no, I cannot take credit for that quote. And listen, I know that diagnosis meeting can feel like a gut punch. You're sitting there hearing all these big words, trying to process the list of symptoms while your stomach drops. But here's the mindset shift. That diagnosis isn't a life sentence. It's a manual. It tells you how your kid's brain works so you can stop trying to fix them and start supporting them. Now, one more thing before we move on. Please get a comprehensive evaluation. So many kids have coexisting conditions, anxiety, learning disorders, sensory processing challenges, even sleep disorders. If your provider didn't look at those, you don't have the full picture yet. Because if we treat ADHD and ignore the anxiety driving it, we're just spinning in circles and crying in the car line. Also, I need you to know there are 3 different types of ADHD: inattentive, hello my daydreamers, hyperactive impulsive, and, unfortunately, the combined type, which is my kiddo. He can get lost in thought while he's running in circles. So we need to know what type of ADHD we have, any coexisting conditions, and then we need to study like hell what all that means. Next up, you need to build a routine. Ah, yes, routines. The thing every expert preaches and every ADHD parent side-eyes. But stick with me. I'm not talking about color-coded spreadsheets or 5 a.m. miracle mornings. Not that I've tried or anything. I'm talking about rhythm, not rigidity. The ADHD brain struggles with time perception and transitioning, which means the more predictable your environment, the less chaos your kid's brain has to process. Science backs this up. Routines support the circadian rhythm, your body's internal clock that controls sleep, hormone release, and, you guessed it, focus. When the rhythm stabilizes, so does behavior. So build simple anchors into your day. Same wake up and bedtime, visual checklist, timers that externalize time so your kid can see it and not just feel it. Movement breaks, you'll thank me later. It won't be perfect. You'll fall off track. You'll have cereal for dinner. That's fine. What matters is consistency over chaos. Because when you give their brain predictable structure, you're giving it something it desperately craves, and that's safety. I have so many parents ask Danielle, how the hell do I follow a schedule when I have ADHD myself? And I guess I can thank my dad for my OCD tendencies, because your girl thrives in a routine. We can't survive without it. But I ask around, and I think the thing to remember is that we live in a digital modern age where you don't have to remember bedtime. You don't have to remember wake up time. You can literally wire your house so that you can talk to it and it can talk to you, and it can say, hey witch, it's time to wake the kids up. Or family, it's time to wind down so that we can all be in bed by 9:30. Externalizing time isn't just for them. It's for you. Visual reminders, but even better, that are automatically set so you don't have to remember a damn thing. Next up, I think, is probably the biggest for all of us, and that is emotional regulation. Yes, we're getting into the hard shit, because let's be honest, ADHD parenting is 30% logistics, 70% emotional triage. Your kid's brain is wired for emotional intensity. That means their feelings hit harder, last longer, and hijack their logic faster than ours ever did. But here's the cool part. Regulation is contagious. When you stay calm, your child's nervous system starts mirroring yours. That's called co-regulation, and it's straight neuroscience. You are your child's borrowed calm. So the next time your kid's losing it over their Lego tower collapsing, try this. Drop your voice instead of raising it. Get down on their level. Model breathing, even exaggerated slow ones. Name the emotion out loud. It sounds simple, but it literally rewires how their brain processes stress. Because when you show them calm, you teach them what safety feels like. I can give you many examples, but I can give you one rather recently from our lives. My kid, much like all kids these days, loves Roblox. Roblox is a platform that has all different things that you can steal. Steal a brain rot, steal a pet, steal a Dexter. What the hell is a Dexter? Anyway, my kid is always losing his favorite whatever game he's playing, and he loses his shit. And you know what? That's fair. Feel this feeling. It sucks. You lost your favorite. But just remember, every single time this has ever happened to you and you've lost your cool, you always get it back, and you always get it back pretty quickly. And he said, you know what, Mom? You're right. Cut to me getting in the shower. 10 minutes later, the kid is happy as hell. He got all of it back. Step 4, build your support team. You can't and you shouldn't do this alone. You need a team. And no, that doesn't make you weak or dependent. It makes you smart. Your team might include a pediatrician who actually listens, an occupational therapist for sensory and regulation support. We've had plenty on this show if you need one. A psychologist for emotional skills, also had some on the show. A school counselor or special education advocate, many in our books. A parent coach, because yes, you deserve support too. ADHD parent coaching changed my life and by extension, my kiddo. ADHD parenting is a marathon. You need pit stops, refuels, and people who remind you that you're not failing. You're fighting an uphill battle in a system that wasn't built for your kid. Okay, ADHD parents, if you've ever said, I just need one thing that actually helps us stay on track, I've got you covered. Meet Pop Sugar Cafe Printables, the creative powerhouse turning chaos into calm, one gorgeous, brain-friendly printable at a time. Pop Sugar Cafe isn't just about cute designs, though they are stunning. It's about giving neurodivergent families tools that work. Visual schedules, emotion charts, routine planners, and positive reinforcement systems that make everyday life feel doable. These printables aren't built for Pinterest perfection. They're built for the real-life mornings with missing shoes, cold coffee, and a kid who suddenly hates pants. So if you're ready to swap the daily overwhelm for something that actually supports your family's rhythm, check out Pop Sugar Cafe Printables. Because structure can be beautiful, functional, and ADHD friendly all at once. Now, honestly, onto the part that I think every one of you are waiting on. The foundations, sleep, yes, I see you, movement, and nutrition. So let's talk about the basics, because this is where half of our chaos hides. Sleep. ADHD brains are like night owls trapped in an early bird world. Instead of melatonin gummies, try magnesium glycinate. It helps your body relax without messing with circadian rhythm long term. Exercise. Yes, movement literally boosts dopamine and serotonin, the same neurotransmitters ADHD meds target. A huge chunk of afternoon movement resets their brain and improves their sleep. Nutrition. I am not here to tell you to go full organic overnight. Just start small. Swap Red 40. She's an evil, evil witch. Add protein at breakfast. And try reducing dairy or gluten one at a time and watch how they respond. Our kids' brains burn through nutrients faster. Protein, omega-3s, vitamins, all essential for focus and regulation. You will definitely want to watch out for deficiencies because of all of that. Step 6, school support. I don't know why, but you guys get really scared when I talk about this. So let's take a deep breath and let's dive in. Because nothing will test your sanity quite like trying to advocate for your kid in a system built for neurotypical robots. Here's the thing. Accommodations are not charity. They're access. You are not asking for special treatment. You are asking for your child to be able to learn in an environment that doesn't constantly punish them for how their brain works. Let's start with the basics. 504 plans and IEPs aren't just fancy acronyms that teachers whisper about. They're legal documents. Binding, protective, your shield. A 504 plan falls under civil rights law. It ensures equal access. An IEP under IDEA goes further. It provides specialized instruction and goals tailored to your child's needs. So what the hell does that actually look like in real life? It's the noise-canceling headphones that keeps your kid from melting down during math drills. It's chunked assignments so they can process one step at a time instead of being crushed by a full page of instructions. It's preferential seating, not so they can be the teacher's pet, but so they're not sitting next to Jimmy, the human fidget spinner. My kid has often sat in the front of the class so he could be closer to instruction, but at times he sat in the back of the class so that he could wiggle. These aren't extras. They're evidence-based supports. The neuroscience says ADHD brains struggle with working memory, attention regulation, and emotional control. So when we remove barriers, bam, potential unlocked. And parents, document everything. Every email, every meeting, we'll try this for a few weeks and see, because advocating for your child in a school is not a one and done moment. It's a marathon. And you'll get tired. Yes, you'll feel like you're being that mom. But guess what? That mom is the reason progress happens. If you remember nothing else, remember this. There are two things I have learned here. One, the school is probably on your side, but they are dealing with hundreds of students, if not thousands. So you advocating for your kid is your job. It doesn't matter if you get on their nerves, because they might need the reminder. The second thing is that I do not have a problem with, because I am that mom. Do not be afraid to speak up and ask questions. Do not be afraid to talk in a meeting. Do not be afraid to ask, who the hell are you and why are you here? Do not be afraid to ask, what does my kid's day look like? Do not be afraid. If you remember nothing else, remember this. You are not asking for favors. You are demanding access, and your kid deserves every damn bit of it. Next up, treatment options. Okay, witches, let's rip the Band-Aid off. Medication. A topic that turns every Facebook comment section into a flipping dumpster fire. Let's just say it. This decision comes with baggage. Everyone, and I do mean every damn one, has an opinion. Your mom, your neighbor, the lady at the grocery store who once read a blog post about Ritalin in 2008. But here's the truth. ADHD medication is one of the most studied and evidence-based treatment in all of psychiatry. We're talking decades of research showing it can improve focus, impulse control, emotional regulation, and even long-term outcomes like school performance and self-esteem. It does not change who your kid is. It helps them access who they already are, the part that's been buried under static and overwhelm. Stimulant meds help balance dopamine and norepinephrine, the brain's messenger chemicals that help regulate attention, motivation, and reward. Non-stimulant meds can help too, especially for kids who have coexisting anxiety or side effects. And yes, it can take trial and error. You might need to play chemist for a few months with your prescriber. You'll probably cry, Google way too damn much, and second guess yourself 50 times. But when it clicks, when your kid looks up and says, Mom, my brain feels quiet, you realize it's not magic, it's chemistry. Medication isn't a moral failing. It's not a shortcut. It's a tool, one that, for many families, is life-changing. If your kid needed glasses, you'd give them the damn glasses. If they needed insulin, you'd give them insulin. So if their brain needs dopamine support, you give them dopamine support. Period. And if meds aren't the right fit, that's okay too. There are therapy-based tools, parent training programs, executive function coaching, diet, and sleep supports. But whatever you do, make the choice from science, not from shame, and not from Facebook mom groups. The last step is to find your community. Finally, community, the secret sauce, the lifeline, the reason most of us are still standing. You need people who get it, who don't gasp when you say your kid punched a wall because their pencil broke, who know that homework time can end in tears, laughter, or someone hiding under the table, and sometimes all three. Because this journey, it's lonely when you think you're the only one. You start to internalize judgment, the whispers, and if you just discipline better comments. And that's when the burnout hits. But when you find your people, when you connect with parents who know the chaos, the guilt, the love that burns like wildfire, something shifts. You stop feeling broken. You start feeling seen. That's why Chaos and Caffeine exist. This podcast is not just a show. It's a kitchen table, a lifeline. This is where we get to laugh, cry, rage, and keep going together. Find your people, whether it's a local support group, and if that's not an option, start one, an online ADHD parent chat, or a podcast like this one playing in your earbuds at 2 a.m. while you eat cold pizza and wonder if you're doing it right. Spoiler alert, you are. You're showing up, learning, trying, loving. That's the work, and that's the magic. So, here's your reminder, Mama. That diagnosis wasn't the end. It was the beginning. You don't have a broken kid. You have a beautiful, bold, wildly wired brain who needs a parent who gets it. And you sitting here, listening, learning, showing up, baby, you're doing it right. If this episode hit home, please tell me your biggest aha moment in the comments. Do all the things for the algorithm gods, leave us a review, 5 stars obviously. But so much more important, I want you to share it with another ADHD parent who just got that diagnosis and who needs to hear they're not alone. Let's keep this momentum rolling because Awareness Month might be over, but our advocacy, baby, that's just getting started. This is Chaos and Caffeine, your ADHD parenting podcast. I'm Danielle, your ADHD parenting bestie, and I'll see you back here next week where we'll have a lot of the same chaos and caffeine, but I promise to bring a new conversation. Now go drink your coffee before it gets cold again. Those nights when you're up at 2 a.m. Googling, why did my child blow up over nothing? Or how do I explain instructions that don't take off like a rocket? Meet Dr. Lorian Phillips, a clinical psychologist since 1995 and in the ADHD trenches with families since 2013. She isn't just someone who studies kids. She's raising them, parenting them, figuring this stuff out live. Dr. Phillips runs what may feel like your dream support system, an ADHD parenting course she started in 2013, plus private consults to help you read your child's wiring instead of fighting against it. She's spoken at schools from nursery to high school. She teaches ADHD families emotional regulation and all the skills that we need to feel successful and not broken. If you're overwhelmed by the constant, did I say that wrong? Moments, knowing there is a way forward with understanding, empathy, structure, and celebration, Dr. Lorian Phillips is someone you'll want in your corner. For more, check her out at adhdmanagement.co.za or click the link in the episode show notes to connect with her from wherever you are.